Hi everyone, and welcome to Anki How To with Mike Els. Today is part 2 of our 2-part session about transactional data quality and how we can make use of Anki features to improve our transactional data quality. If you missed it, in part 1 we discussed 2 features called defaults and conditional defaults, and in today's session we will be talking about validations, conditional validations and data validations. All right, first up is validations, and the example I want to show you is that when we edit a work order and we want to enter the permit number on that work order, we always want it to be 5 characters long. Now remember, you can apply this type of theory and feature on almost any entity in Anki. This is just a very simple example to show you the mechanism, how we do it. Right, so let's go to Anki, and we are going to work in the designer. We are going to look at the work order edit screen. Last time we looked at the work order create screen. Now it will be the work order edit screen. That's why I'm going under global edit and then looking for work order. So this is typically, in my example, where the planner will start entering information into the work order, getting it ready for execution. Right, data properties, validations, and the actual field that we want to impact is the permit number. And we can specify a couple of things, whether it's read-only, required, max length, minimum length, or pattern. In this case, we are just going to impact the max length and the minimum length, and we're going to say the max length is 5 and the minimum length is 5, so it must be only 5 characters, nothing more, nothing less. We can also specify an error message that needs to come up if they exceed these characters. All right, so let's just say permit number must match organization standard. Get that spelling right, and we'll use that there as well. Accept, and I'm going to save this as a new profile. Permit number 5 characters. Again, have a look at one of our other videos about the profile manager to see all the cool things that you can do with profiles. All right. Okay, profile is saved. Let's go to our work order screen. And we'll open up a work order because we are going to edit a work order for this. Let's try that one. And under my feedback, I'm gonna 6 characters. That's my permit number. Sorry, I first need to activate my profile. Very important, don't forget about that. Now let's put in our permit number, and I'm gonna say save. Actually, I have only 5. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to try another one. I actually entered exact amount, which was not right. Let's try that again. All right, there we go. See, we can't go any further than 5. It limits us already. Let's try 4. You can see it already starts giving us a warning. There's red. And now if we say save, it gives us a little bit of a warning. Permit number must match the organization standard. All right, very cool. Of course, you can do this on other fields as well and be very specific about the structure that you want. Good. Building on this, we can then also make use of conditional validations, and this is where we typically change how a field will respond based on another field. All right. And in this example, what we will use is when we have the type of work code, follow-up work, in a work order, then we want the parent work order code field on that same work order to actually be compulsory. We should not have follow-up work if it does not come from another work order. Right, so let me just clear this, and we will go back to designer. Then this will be on let's do this on the create work order screen. Right. data properties, and we'll go to conditional validations. We'll give it a name, follow up work, parent work. Ooh, let me just type that better. Follow up work, parent work order code. Right, and our condition will be that type of work code is equal to follow up. And the field that we want to impact is the parent work order code. And in that case, it needs to be required. And we can add an error for that as well. Parent work order code is compulsory when follow-up work. Right, we'll save that, and again we'll save that as a profile. Just call it follow-up work. And let's go to our work order screen. We're going to create a new work order, and I will then quickly just show you. So under planning, type of work code is always compulsory, so that's yellow, but our parent work order code is not yellow, so it's not compulsory at this point. But now as soon as we change this to select that profile, you see it's still not yellow, so it's still not compulsory because our type of work code is nothing. So let's fill in follow up there. Now if we go back to request, now our parent work order code becomes compulsory, ensuring that whenever someone chooses that type of work, they actually follow our business rules and complete the parent work order code. Right. Now the last example that we're going to look at is data validations. And that's when a field needs to be potentially not another field. So in this example, what we're going to look at is during our planning process, we cannot say a work order is planned if we have not allocated a specific staff member to that work order. Right, that's part of our planning process. That's how we're going to do it. So we want to apply a rule where it gives us an error if that is the case. Okay, so let's again go to our designer, customize, and we'll do that again under global edit because the work order is now in our example already been created. Then under data properties and data validations. Right, so first up, our condition is that the staff member code, when that is unknown, and then we need to apply the rule. So we're going to link this validation or the condition and the rule together. So the rule will be that this cannot happen under work order status when that is, let's say, in status AL, which is awaiting labor, which is the status that we want to use after we have planned. Right, and the condition, so there we link the condition. So now our rule that we've set up here is linked to our condition, and the error will be staff member actual value required. Okay. So let's save that and again save it as profile. I'm just going to call it staff member. Right. Again, let's see how that plays out. Go to work orders. Oops. Come on. Right, we're going to create a new work order. No, sorry, this is under edit. So let's choose a work order that's sitting under waiting approval. Let's take that one. And let's just check that it matches. Yeah, so that's blank. Staff member. And now if we go to, let's change that to unknown, save it, so this is still, there we go. And then we get our error stopping the actual value required. So we're not allowed to choose unknown. So it's a little bit of transactional data quality that supports our planning function. Right, that's it. That is then 5 different features in Anki that we can make use of for transactional data quality: defaults, conditional defaults, validations, conditional validations, and data validations. Have a look at part 1 if you missed that part, and do get in touch with us if you want to see more of these examples and a more in-depth explanation. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.